Thanks for joining us for our Tuesday Mastermind. We have this every week, and today we have a special guest. And just a little introduction. And I know he's going to go more into depth about his background, but we've used John from ICU Inspections for a lot of our lead paint, a lot of our home inspection. I personally used him, and just watching him work, he's not an alarmist, but he's also very thorough, and he's gotten us out of a couple of really tough, even lawsuit-bound situations. But we can ask questions afterwards. But he came up with something really great for our office meeting, and feel free to, if there's any managers, to invite him to the office meeting. He's really, really good in getting the point across. And this is what he's going to share. It's a pre-listing checklist that, from his point of view, for the sellers, and he's going to go over that. And so take it away, John.
Good
And do you want me
morning,
to
every.
share the list first, or do you want to speak a
Yes,
little?
share those two documents with everybody. That would be great. Thank you for the introduction. John Greco from ICU Home Inspection. I'm a master home inspector. I'm licensed in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. I do go to Florida. I do go to Kansas. I inspect the smallest stuff, like a trailer in a trailer park in Moonachie behind Teterboro Airport, to some of the largest homes here in New Jersey. I think I've done over 30,000 square foot homes. Um,
Yeah.
Also a lead inspector and a risk assessor. So today we're going to go over something that I feel is extremely important, and for listing agents. So a lot of people, when I meet agents and they say, well, I don't use home inspectors because I'm a listing agent. Well, I respect that, but then my second thing comes up is a pre-home inspection. And they say, I don't like doing pre-home inspections. I'm like, okay, um, I get that, but here's something that I came up with, because I do go to a lot of realtor classes, and especially triple play. I go to like 10 or 12 classes over the 4 days. Not that I'm going to be a realtor, but I want to know more about the industry, what agents are supposed to know. And Remax is really great on teaching and informing and keeping everyone up to date. So I came up with two handouts, and the first one I'm going to go over is a list, more or less a checklist for listing agents, how to get your listing ready for a home inspection. So it's not a pre-inspection. It's something you and your client who owns the house does before it's listed, before the open house, and definitely before the home inspection. Why do we do this? Why would I suggest to do this? Well, as a home inspector, I assess the house. From the moment I pull up, I look at it, and I kind of evaluate what's going on right when I pull up from the outside. Then I get inside and I start evaluating it. Things that, we all want to know, that a home inspection usually takes approximately 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of the home. Now, there's a lot of things that affect that time. It affects, believe it or not, an inspector's attitude towards the home. Now, as a listing agent, you want to get that home inspector in and out as quick as possible. So, one, obviously, if there's any issues, they'll be brought up quickly and, assessed properly, but won't cause any alarms. And maybe if the home is easy access, they'll get in and out and not go as deep, and move on, so they can move on to their next job for the day. So on this list, it's very important for, if we just go one by one, the obvious thing, I didn't put on the outside but have the outside and the trash and all cleaned up. All this stuff does not take a lot of money. And it's something that it's easy to do, from trim the stuff away from the house, make the roof easy access to get to, especially like on a ranch. If it's not a ranch, it's going to be drones, so you don't have to worry about it. Remember, oil tank sweeps are getting done more and more. So cars out of the driveway. These are basic stuff that you're going to ask the buying agent, well, what are you going to do? What inspections are you going to do when you're there? And I'm finding that more and more listing agents are present at the home inspection. And personally, it does put a little more pressure on the home inspector. For you as a listing agent, it's kind of a good thing, right? So, me, when I have a listing agent there, I always ask the permission of my client if I can speak freely in the room with listing agents or anybody else. And they always say yes. Well, I would say 99% of the time. But cleaning up the outside, patio furniture, just organize it, cut the lawn and trim the hedges just to look presentable. It sounds easy and common sense, but I would say a good 45% of the houses I go to haven't been done. Even some of them today, this weekend that I did, weren't maintained from the outside. And I just look at the house like, I'm going to have to get my knee pads and my hands dirty on this one. But when I pull up and it's all taken care of, I'm like, great, I'm going to be in and out with ease. So once we get inside, I know some homeowners like to be there. I would really, really ask the people. I mean, having a listing agent there, that's great, but having the homeowner there also, it really I use it to my advantage as a a home inspector, because I kind of ask them things and they just, voluntarily give me the answers, which is not a good thing for the selling agent. So I would always ask them to go have coffee or go to a diner for 2, 3 hours or something, go to the mall, get them out of the house. But prior to this home inspection, make sure everything is on. The gas, electric, know that the electrical panel is an easy access. You should have at least 3 feet on both sides to get to it. Sometimes I show up and there's like mounds of boxes in front. So that's like, ugh, I have to go and I have to ask to move it. Um, you definitely don't want to say, okay, I have to come back after you move stuff. It's really declutter everything. Decluttering stuff is the main thing. Sometimes we do have hoarders, and getting rid of a lot of the stuff just to make the house look presentable really helps. Check the GFCIs in the bathroom, kitchen, laundry room, outside. See if they work. Just plug something in and pop the button so you know what you're getting into. All the remotes, now I see a lot of electric remotes for the fireplaces. So if there's not an electric remote, I got to open that up and try to do something with it, or just mark it doesn't work. So make sure they have batteries in them. Make sure the thermostats have batteries. I mean, these are all common things, but they're all problems that I run into. Any manuals that you have, throw them on the table, leave them there. I might have questions on the boiler or HVAC systems. Where are we up? This is the outside trim, roof siding, gutters. Have somebody clean the gutters, maybe. Attic, crawl spaces, make it accessible. If it just doesn't have a string to pull down, well, make sure the little bar with the hook is available for me to use. Or if it's a trap door in the closet of the bedroom, have that bedroom closet emptied. All these things just make everything go smoother. It cuts the time down by 30%. Um,
Hard. It's very hard.
so walk through the house, get to know the house as a listing agent, where the water main is, where the boiler is. I'm not saying inspect it yourself, but get familiar with your listing. Laundry room. Look behind the dryer. It's easy. Just take a peek. You'll see some socks and some other things left behind, but make sure that you don't see all lint coming out. I would say 25% of these are disconnected from the dryer vent. That's an easy, just pull it out and slip it on and clean it up. Smoke detectors, as we know, some home inspectors do test them. We all know the fire department does the CO and smoke detector test, but you're going to do that anyway. In the garage, we're going to open all the doors and test the garage door opener for the so it bounces back, and also the electric eyes. Make sure they're lined up. Pools, spas. Pools we're checking now just over the past 2 weeks. Now, a home inspector, I inspect pools as long as they're above ground. When they're spas or a gunite pool or something else, I usually call another company. Usually I use Preferred Pools, but the pool area should be working. There shouldn't be anything floating. Check your filters along to, a lot of times you find chipmunks in there. Have somebody clean it up and make sure there's nothing leaning against all the pool heaters or the pump. Keep that area nice and clean so it can be inspected quickly as well. If you have a list, some homeowners are very detailed on when they put in the hot water heater, when this was done, when they change filters. If they have a checklist that's 5, 10, 20 years of maintenance on the house, that really helps me. So have that out. Where are we here?
We're towards the end for the checklist.
Yep, I just want
And
to jump back up to kitchen bathrooms, number 4, which is 31. So underneath the sinks on bathrooms and kitchens, well, if some of you have read some of my reports, I take a picture of the sink working and underneath the sink. It's better to take all that stuff out. And if you have any stainage underneath from past or old leaks, put a piece of contact paper over it. You're not hiding anything. It's a past leak probably that was fixed. If it's wet, you'll find out real quick. Or if there's any grout needed around, changing light bulbs is a good one, because I do write up, there's in a fixture that has 3 or 4 lights in it and one is out. I write it up. It's not functioning properly. Remember, a home inspector cannot go into something, cannot lift up a carpet, cannot go into a ceiling, a drop ceiling. It is a non-intrusive inspection. I can ask to move furniture. But as far as making the house accessible for me, it makes the time go quicker. I walk through smoother and I'm out of there quick. So will I not go in deeper? Yeah. If the house is in good shape and has been prepped, not the prep to sell, but prep to inspect, it's easier on everybody.
John, you're not allowed to go into drop ceilings and check out the electricity behind that.
No, that's going intrusive. A home inspection is a non-intrusive inspection. So if anybody starts opening walls or going into ceiling tiles or lifting up wall-to-wall carpet to see if there's hardwood floor, they're breaking the law. In the state of New
Interesting.
Jersey, that is. New York is a little different, but all the rules and regulations that agents, brokers have to follow. We have standards of practice too. And if anybody would like a copy of our standard of practice, we can send them to you. So you know what a home inspector is allowed and not allowed to do, which is good knowledge on your part. I don't want to say it's a cheat sheet for you to hide things. That's kind of unethical, but maybe it's a cheat sheet for you to fix stuff that are, not major costly repairs.
Let me ask you a question. If there's if let's say a realtor like myself would tell the seller, listen, let's open this up, let's lift these old carpets so it can make sure that the floors look good. Would it then be intrusive, or would you be able to inspect it because it's out in the open?
If you lift it up, I'm inspecting it. If you,
Okay,
as a buying agent, lift up something, I'm there
gotcha.
looking at it, I see it, it's inspected. But, to be above and beyond all the other listing agents, to have your property sell easier and smoothly, this list really helps the process. It knocks
Gotcha.
off time off the inspection. It cuts down on a lot of issues home inspector writes up, and it gets your transaction smoother throughout the process.
I
Understood.
think in many ways agents do that by, having a checklist for the pre-listing, not focused on, let's say, inspection, but yeah, putting away the clutter. Remember, like, when we speak with clients, we want to make sure the clutter's away. Sometimes photos are taken down that are personal photos. So this is a really good checklist for them to have to just work off, make sure things are accessible for the inspector to come so they're not fighting through clutter to get to where they need to inspect and making it easier and a smoother process. And that could be a game changer, I think, for agents and sellers.
I All these things sound very simple and common. It's like, yeah, of course we're going to do this. I would say 60% of the homes that I do, nobody has done anything. And some of these listing agents that I go to, which are not Remax agents, don't even know what a hot water heater is, don't even know if it's a furnace, don't know anything. And I really don't feel that they're playing dumb, that they don't want to tell me. It's they truly don't know. They list it, they sit in the kitchen, and they really never walk through the house, never walk and open and look into each closet. I find stuff that the homeowner doesn't even know sometimes. But the listing agent should really, if you're selling a product, you have to really be informed of what you're selling, be knowledgeable. And listen, if you're selling a car, you're going to take it for a car wash before you sell it. Shine it up a little bit, make it look nicer, easier to inspect, so somebody that comes in and checks everything around. Yeah. If it's a 1960s house that's never been upgraded, so it's not upgraded, but get the cobwebs off the ceiling. I see a lot of that cobwebs everywhere. And I'm like, and we're talking in bedrooms. We're not talking in little closets or in the attic. We're talking bedrooms and kitchens and living room. Like, tell them to take a little duster and just dust everywhere. Because if I see, there's a couple of times that I left to get a full zip up suit because the house was just horrendously dirty. And I don't want to bring any roaches or bed bugs back to my own house. So, yeah, questions.
John, hi, this is Bill.
Hi, Bill.
What are your thoughts on knob and tube and the Federal Pacific boxes?
Well, it's funny. I just did that. Federal Pacific is obsolete, needs to be changed. Knob and tube, obsolete, needs to be changed. I have run, especially in Park Ridge, I've had a house completely running on knob and tube. If your listing has knob and tube, and let's say it's disconnected and not working, right? Somebody cut the wires and they put a whole new system in. I would take any pieces of knob and tube out that you can see. Like take the knob out, go around the house and just tell them remove it. even though it's not working, it will be in the report. So if it's in the report, remember, when you go for your insurance, they're going to ask you about knob and tube. They're going to ask you about Federal Pacific or Push-O-Matic. Those two brands are obsolete. And if there's anything in a report about it, sometimes you don't get the insurance. Sometimes we had one lady that I'm not going to tell you who, but cried once I told her that she had Federal Pacific panel. Literally, the buyer cried, and it was in a condo setting. A lot of these condos, big ones in Fort Lee and Powell Park, have Federal Pacific, and yes, one by one they're being changed.
Okay, thanks, John.
Any other questions? All right, I would like to spend 2 minutes on that lead.
Okay, so literally it has to be 2 minutes.
Okay, you all have the new lead law for rental properties. Okay, I'll answer any questions that you have. You can call me. But with this lead law, they are serious. New Jersey serious. Even if the town says, "Oh, we're not doing it yet. Oh, it didn't come to this town." It's a federal law. So the state is actually sending the tickets, and they're big, $1,000 per week per unit. Now on here it says single family homes, multifamily homes, anything renting. So it's condo, co-op, townhouse, trailers, anything built 1978 or before. You need it. You have to have it. Do not go with the cheapest one. All right. I am not the cheapest one. I'm right in the middle. But my reports, as Mary said, hold up in court. I've been to court probably about a half a dozen times. 4 of them on this lead law. And we won every single time with my reports. I know the landlords want the cheapest. Oh, this guy does it for $250 and John Greco is $325, but Remax usually gets a little discount. But it's worth it because I am not going to, if it's minor stuff, I will not fail you, but yet I will not pass you. I will suspend you and you're going to fix it. Another company out there like Lou Environmental, they'll fail you, which you get escalated to a more extensive testing. You get reported to the state and it goes on and on and on. So I want to tell you that, if before you have a lead inspection, call me. I will tell you things to prep. It's all about prepping your listing, prepping your rental property also. Any
I also
questions
do.
on lead?
I also want to mention that it's not just the real estate commission, it's EPA that's also looking. So it could be possibly, double fines if
I
you don't
run
keep your
into a lot
clients.
of agents, some that been an agent for a long, long time, and they blow it off. Oh, it's another money grab. Yes, it's another money grab. But on the back end, it does save lives. I find that I've gotten called in by child services and the EPA a dozen times last year we've had kids sick. And I would say 60% of the people getting sick are the older elderly getting sick because they sit by the window watching outside all day and they're picking the paint on the windowsill. Also, I had a nice house in Englewood, beautiful house, and 3 of the little kids were high levels of lead. That's because when they moved in 10 years ago, the husband did some construction, they never cleaned. So remember, it's not only eating the paint, the skin mostly absorbs it from the dust, like that sheetrock dust that's everywhere that can never get rid of. The skin absorbs it. So any listing that you have for rental, please call me so I can prep you on how to get ready for a lead inspection so you don't get these fines. Remember, calling me is free. All my knowledge is free for you guys. I'm here to help Remax to make you the best agent out there. And it's in the big picture to make more money and to raise the bar of the Remax agents to a higher level than anybody else that makes clients want to use you.
Any other questions, you guys?
John, real quick, if if I'm renting an apartment and the landlord says, ah, screw that, I'm not gonna do that lead inspection.
It's a federal law. Tell them it's a federal law. It's a state law. You have to do it.
Mhm.
I mean, they're renting properties, $4,000. Some of these houses are going for $7,000 a month rent, and they're not going to pay $300, right?
And
I'm not there. Yes.
I'll just add to this, just because we are running out of time too, is that if you do have a client that does not want to do any of these inspections, that means you cannot and should not represent them, because in case there's ever a lawsuit or there's a complaint, you're always going to be part of it. And you being a real estate agent, you have a fiduciary to make sure that you guide them, and if they refuse, there's no waiver. So you can't just say, well, I told them, they said they're going to do it. Like, you should not be helping them put a tenant if they don't want to do the inspection. So at that point, you have to let it go. You don't want to be part of it. Just
It's
like with the
really
seller
not
non-quote.
worth your losing your license or paying
Yeah.
$25,000 for
As you
a.
know, I am not an alarmist. Like you said at the beginning, I'm extremely detailed and I follow the law to a T. I do not waver on that. And on some of the properties with Remax, we follow the law to the T. And through tenant court and everything else, we won. It's not worth, the couple bucks you're gonna make on that one listing, may it be a rental. In the big picture of things, just follow the law, you'll be better off. Your license is extremely important, and you do not want to go in front of that board court. I've been in front. They're mean. They're mean and serious. And I've sat in front many times, and it's no joke. So you lose your license, it's hard to get back. So Mary will pass you all my information. If there's any questions, I work 7 days a week. I do inspections from 5 in the morning sometimes, whenever the client needs, to stuff that, oh, I get home at 8 o'clock at night. I'll do condos at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Doesn't matter to me. I go Wildwood Crest. I'll go to Albany. I'll go to Niagara Falls. Wherever the job is, I go, and I like to speak and be on the same level and have conversations prior with the agent that I'm working with. Obviously, not the listing agent, but the buying agent. So, or if the buying agent uses me to prep their house, I'll be happy to do that also.
John's really great to work with. Please reach out. We will send out the flyers. Again, I mean, there are many times where even though he's great to work with, he'll be very honest and say, like, it's not going to pass. And he'll tell it to you straight because he doesn't want you guys, or he doesn't want himself to be in trouble and not do what we're supposed to do. So,
If
and
your
that gives
client
me assurance, that I could recommend him.
if your
John,
client
real
picks another home inspector, right, and they don't do oil tank sweeps or they don't do something I do, or you want to, have a question, say, I feel bad that we're using somebody else, John. Well, call me. I mean, there's enough work for all of us home inspectors. Call me. There's no, like, if you're using somebody else and you have a question or, uh, you need an oil tank sweep and it's not a problem. I'm a very easygoing person. Yes.
John, for a standard rental, what do you charge for the lead inspection?
You're looking at anywhere for a studio to a two-bedroom. You're in the vicinity up here for Remax. It's 275.
Gotcha. Okay.
Larger ones, it's going to jump to three. Homes are, anywhere from three and up. And I say that because I've been doing stuff in 5 bedrooms, and it takes a while. The reports for a regular condo are probably about 15 pages. They look like a home inspection report. For houses, they're about anywhere between 35 and 45 pages. Yes, you get the certificates are good for 3 years or at tenant turnover. So if you have one, when you're done and you flip a tenant, you have to do it again.
Okay, great. So
People,
we kind of went over, but please invite him to to our office meetings if you guys want. But thank you for joining us. It was really, really insightful. Thanks, John. We appreciate it.
everybody have a great day.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.